welcome to my channel. My name is Laura, and I wanted to talk a little bit today about fruit and the acidity in fruit and why we need to eat more fruit, and why I think that the things that need to be eliminated are things like breads, pastas, cereals, meats, all these processed foods. So first of all, I made this video based on something that was told to me by a girl that I know, where her young daughter loves strawberries and she eats them excessively because she just loves them that much. She's been eating them since she was like a little baby. And somebody that this person knows like a personal trainer or something like that, and they are really into like the high proteins and the meats and all that kind of stuff. And so, he told her that she ought to stop eating so much fruit and so many strawberries because this is going to cause her to have acid in her body. And so, I had to say something about it because, this is just so untrue, about what happens when we actually consume fruit. And so much of the lack of knowledge and misleading things that are told to us is one of the reasons why people just keep ignoring things, and they keep eating all the other foods and saying, it's like it's the same thing. Well, if I eat this or I eat that, if I eat fruit, what's the difference? Because it's acidic anyway. So and it's so like false and misleading. So talking about like a meat diet, high processed meats, and I don't even want to get into what all the cooking of the meats and all that stuff causes. I just want to primarily just talk about the fact that meat alone just really creates something in the body called uric acid. And the uric acid is really what ends up causing things in the body that can turn into arthritis, gout. Gout is something that I have seen quite a lot, and most of the people that I've seen having it have, they eat high excess protein meat diets. And they're the ones that are usually claiming that, certain fruits and certain nuts and seeds aren't good for you and this and that. So, what I want to say about this is, when you become sick from consuming these types of foods, especially all of this highly processed stuff, then it makes it so that the doctor tells you, well, don't eat nightshades because nightshades are known to aggravate the gout or the arthritis. But actually, there is something called solane that is in the nightshades, but it's not actually the nightshades that caused the problem in the first place. Just the same way as it's not always the fruit that causes acid reflux and so much acid in the body that it's going to cause you to get sick. And the main reason for this, which I'm not going to get deep into alkaline scales and acidity and everything, but what I am going to say is that when you eat something like pomegranates or strawberries, they do have a higher pH level. And if somebody already has heartburn or something like that, something citrus can initially maybe burn the esophagus or make you feel like you're having heartburn from it, but it's not what caused it in the first place. And that's the initial thing that you feel when you eat that fruit that it causes. But actually, when the fruit is digested and the fruit actually neutralizes to alkaline in the body, we don't really become acidic from eating the fruit. It is important, though, to make sure that fruit is ripe as possible. But at the same time, even if it wasn't as ripe as possible, it does alkalize to a certain extent in your body. a lot more than things like meats turning to uric acid. You're not going to turn to acid and get sick if you were eating fruit alone. And people just, they eat too many different things, you know, and then they don't know what's wrong with them. And that's why a lot of people end up talking about monomealing, which is trying to stick to that one thing that day and getting a lot of it instead of eating all these different foods. And then it's really hard to know what's causing what. But I just wanted to make this clear to people that it is not fruit that is causing acid in the body, that is turning your pH to a high level, and that, you know, there is scientific proof shown that when you do consume all these highly processed foods, meats and proteins and cheese and all of this stuff, that this stuff definitely does make a higher acid level in the body. And this is because these are the type of amino acids that are in this kind of food that does not break down the same way as other kinds of amino acids that are in more of the vegan foods. So I hope that these things that I tell people kind of educate people a little bit. And the thing is that I want to steer people toward fruits and vegetables as much as possible and away from the other processed foods, because I really care, because I feel so good on this lifestyle. I want other people to have the chance to at least understand things and not have this misleading information. So that's all I have to say for today on this subject. And in my Instagram, you can find all kinds of different videos that I do about fruit and with fruit, and lots of different ideas, lots of different recipes. So that's all I have to say for today, and I hope that somebody got a tip out of this. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.